Good morning, everyone. We are Group 4, and we will discuss the fourth principles of the communication ethics. But first, what is the principle for?
Accept responsibility for the short and long term consequence of our communication and expect the same of others. There have been people who do not feel accountable for their action. Therefore, if one tries to communicate maliciously, spread false news, or incite hatred or violence, he or she should be ready to face the consequence of actions. State are the beginnings to realize, especially in the porous medium of social media.
Responsibility. The state or fact of being responsible, answerable, or accountable for something within one's power, control, or management. Being responsible means dependable, keeping promises, and honoring our commitments. It is accepting that consequences for what we say and do. It also means developing our potential. People who are responsible don't make excuses for their actions or blame others when things go wrong.
So, parenting. Parenting or being a parent plays a central guiding role in a child's life. Parents have a responsibility to look after and provide their children. Interaction with your child have significant impact in his development, and you must accept the consequences. So, parenting is one of the examples in Principle 4 because you have responsibilities and as I said, interaction with your child have significant impact in his development. The way you communicate with your child has consequences. Uh, if he grow, yeah, if he grows up, it might be a good consequence or a bad consequence. So you must accept it.
All speakers should accept responsibility for his her speeches. The speakers must be trustworthy, courageous, knowledgeable, and will make sure that every word will he is she going to say must be fact and relevant. Since speaker ka nga, bawat salita na binibitawan mo is responsible ka sa magiging consequences. The speakers also needs to look presentable, ready, and confident. Since the viewers and listeners will apply everything they they will learn from the speakers and will follow his her steps. The speakers must avoid faulty words so that he she's will not hurt his audience feelings.
Moral responsibility. Moral responsibility establishes a link between a person or a group of people and someone or something that is affected by the actions of this person or group. A human being is responsible for every action and inaction, decision or indecision, statement or silence. Not every choice has moral component, but everything we do or ought not to do has consequences. We make and shape ourselves in all of it, the morally guided as well as everything else. We are all the chief bearers of the consequence of our being. You see a person choking and you know how to perform the Heimlich maneuver, but rather than help, you do nothing. Moral responsibility doesn't really mean that you are responsible for everything, and it doesn't apply to every situations. The purpose of morality is to ease and brighten the consequence of your own being. So, moral responsibility means every person is responsible for their own actions. Generally speaking, a person or a group of people is morally responsible when their voluntary actions have morally significant outcomes that would make it too appropriate to blame or praise them. Just like the example given, you performed the Heimlich maneuver because you saw a person choking, and if you manage to save or rescue the person by doing that, then you are most likely to get praises from the people that surrounds you. On the other hand, if you refuses to help even though you know the Heimlich maneuver, then people may blame you. So yeah, that is moral responsibility is for me. Thank you.
Social communication. A social speaking or social communication is about being able to communicate functionally and appropriately within social situation by using nonverbal means gesture, signing or pointing, and our verbal means vocalizing or speaking. Scenario: saying hello or some other greetings to help jump into a conversation. Using different forms of language that match the situation, like requesting to borrow something from a friend instead of demanding it. Conclusion: it is important to sharing out one's thoughts and feelings to live a fuller and happier life. The more we communicate, the less we suffer and the better we feel about everything around. Explanation: communicating are the key to developing and keeping friendship and relationship to others, and to build a strong social support. And they also help you to take care of your own words while being respectful and of the needs of others.
Accept responsibility for the short and long-term repercussions of our own communication, and expect the others to do the same. A person is accountable for the words he or she said. All of the words that came out of your mouth should be held accountable. The power of the word is stronger than you realize. During the campaign season, politicians utilize flowery languages to appeal to the emotions of many voters. Only a handful, though, keep their promises. Some influencers have made derogatory statements about other influencers, and their followers now despise them. This is why words have more power than you realize. Words have greater value than you think. That's why we need to be responsible for all the words, speeches, claims we say. Words may be both powerful and destructive. Therefore, we must exercise caution while using them.
And that's all, and thank you for listening.